How's it going, guys? Chris back here again with some more MTG Arena. So we are currently in the store. Apparently there's a limited time 0 gold sleeve deal. That's cool. But we're here for something else. We are here to actually look at this. This is the golden packs. So the way golden packs work is if you buy 10 packs, you get a golden pack. And a golden pack has 6 rares slash mythics in it. It has a guaranteed 1 mythic, and then the rest are either rare or mythic. More likely than not, they're just going to be rares, right? So the reason we're here is I'm actually going to buy a bunch of packs. I've saved up a lot. Like, normally, whenever a new set comes out, what I recommend you do is that you get the mastery, right? Because the mastery is where you're going to get the most of your value. Now, there is a bit of trickiness to that, in that sometimes it's worth it to wait until the end of the season to buy the mastery pass, so that way you can kind of like hedge your bet. So there are calculators online that tell you if you reach like level 50, you'll make back what you spent on the mastery pass, right? It still is probably the best way to open packs, right? Or to get cards. Drafting is still probably the best way to get cards still, too. But this means that people like me that don't really like to draft actually don't have to as much, right? Because in order to get a full set, what you need to do is draft. And when you're playing free to play, you also need to draft up enough gems to get the mastery pass, right? So that's 5 to 10 hours of drafting per iteration of per set, right? And like that's a lot of time investment for not particularly a lot of interest. So it looks like with this we're going to be able to get like 30 packs, just about. Because we'll get 20 here and then we'll get 15 more, so like 35. Not great, but normally I would say don't do this, but it's too tempting not to give it a go. So we're 5 of the way to the next one. And then we'll get 6 more. And now we just gotta spend this. Okay, and then we have like a 6-pack and then a 1-pack. Okay. So if we go over to our packs, we got 47 packs, we got 4 gold packs. Like I said, I don't know if I'm actually going to upload this video. I'm just recording it because, like, why wouldn't I record it? This is a new thing that's actually a really good benefit to people that want to play Arena. So, like, we're going to check them out, right? So we got 3 mythics and 3 rares, which is probably above curve. So we had a Kadama, a Moonveil, Over the Top, Olivia's Attendant, and a Shivan Reef. So this, the golden packs are duplicate protected, right? So you're not going to get gems. You're going to get a card that you haven't seen before. Now they can be from any standard set. So you're not going to get historic cards from golden packs, which is a little bit sucky, right? Because after it rotates, that basically means you don't have a chance to get it from a golden pack anymore. So it looks like we only got 1 mythic from this one. And let's see what it is. Jugai defends the tree. But we got a couple of new Dominaria United cards. I will be not drafting, building Brawl decks after this pretty much for the rest of the day. So I'm excited to see how it's gonna look. We got a Mishra's Foundry, which is an interesting card. Brilliant Restoration. We already have one of those. We have one more. So basically, from those 4 packs, we added 24 rares to our collection. 24 rares and mythics, which is really, really good. Ooh, Mishra. Nice. And Clay Champion. Clay Champion is the card I want. And then the rest of this is just regular Dominaria United stuff. Although I haven't looked at any of like the invocations, so I don't know if they're actually decent or not. Soul Guide Lantern is technically playable, so my wild cards are a little rough. Urza's Command. I got an Ivory Tower. Please don't bug out on me, Arena. Self-Assembler. Not particularly interesting. Kaya's something? I don't know. I was not paying attention. Ooh, Burnished Heart. I love Burnished Heart. Burnished Heart's a good card. One with the Multiverse. That is a card I'm looking for Brawl. I'm very happy to see that. Elsewhere Flask. What? In the battlefield, draw a card. Sacrifice it. Choose a basic land type. Each life you control becomes that type until the end of turn. Okay. Feldon. Feldon is good. He's a legend. We're always looking for more legends, right? Because generally, when a new set comes out, I don't really invest in cards that much, right? Because the meta is not going to shift enough to do it. But like we've been waiting for this for Brawl for a couple days now. Transmography. Okay. I was wondering why there was a rare over here. It's because we got a rare invocation, a Quietus Spike. Equipped creature has Death Touch whenever it deals combat damage to a player. That player loses half their life rounded up. Okay, cool. Razor Lash Transmograph. 6 mana, return it to the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter. This costs 4 less if your opponent controls 4 more non-basic lands. So that's gonna be a thing, right? Because we still have the like Streets of New Capenna. Its lands are still legal. Why? Yeah, I don't know if I like that. So these cards are legal in Historic, right? And like if this is legal in Historic, you know there's gonna be a Karn deck where Karn makes your lands artifacts and then liquid metal coating, or this makes your lands and your opponent's lands an artifact, and then liquid metal coating kills the land. So that's not something I'm very excited about, and I'm excited about that. That's actually kind of playable in Standard. So we broke our bank as far as savings go. Adaptive Automaton. When it enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. Adaptive Automaton is the chosen types in addition to other types. So it's worth Metallic Mimic. Yeah. Urza. I wanted an Urza. I really, really wanted an Urza because Urza's. I'm probably going to build some kind of Azorius control deck in Standard. Might not be good, but I'm still going to build it because I always build Azorius control decks. Journeyman's Kite. Why is this rare? Search your library for a basic land card, shuffle, and put it into your hand. Why is this rare? Doesn't seem good. Portal to New Phyrexia. I wanted a lot of those. I want 4 of those, preferably. Soul Guide Lantern number 2. Siege Veteran. We needed some Siege Veterans. Hercules Meditation. This was a card that I wasn't very sure about. Yeah, I'm not very sure about whether or not I like this card. Because it's really expensive. I mean, it does something really cool, but it's really expensive. But on like the right side, like imagine going to somebody's draw step and then casting this, right? Like that is such a feel bad because not only do they draw an additional card for their turn, but then they have to take up all the permanents on their battlefield back into their hand too, and then they have to go to discard. Like, on the one hand, I can see this being really, really brutal in Brawl. I don't think it's going to do anything in Standard. I hope it doesn't do anything in Standard. Like, when you have a card that has the potential to do a very brutal effect, the one place you never really want to see it succeed is in Standard. Because if it's doing its brutal thing in Standard, you know Standard's not fun. And we want Standard to be fun because it's like Legion to Ashes. This is another card that I kind of like because it's hate for for like the green white and the Naya token decks, right? The exile and online permanent opponent controls in all tokens. So you can just get rid of avoided tokens, and that's kind of cool. Altar of Dementia. That is Historic Brawl is literally gonna it's gonna feel like a different format for a while because we've just gotten so many like stupidly powerful artifacts from the set. Another one with the multiverse. That's very cool. Thank you. Keening Stone. Target player mills X cards where X is the number of cards in the graveyard. So that doesn't seem that powerful, but I'm okay with this one. Like, it's not a kite. If you mill good, yeah, you can get some serious value out of that. Rottweiler. Rootwire Amalgam. Okay, I can dig it. Our third Soul Guide Lantern, and our first Thran Spider. I do like that. Battery Bearer. Creatures you control have +1/+1. Okay, so it makes your creatures be. Um, it makes your creatures be, what do you call them? Power Stones, basically. And not in name, but in functionality. Swift with Boots. We needed this. Uh, we could craft that actually because we just. Death from Duelist. Probably not good. Really good for like our graveyard brawl decks, but diabolic intent is actually something that I'm a little scared of in standard, but in brawl mainly, right? Because there are so many decks that are just gonna be willing to pay this price, and like tutors exist in historic brawl, but they're not really used outside of the fringes, right? So let's see what invocation we got. Well of Lost Dreams, life gain card. Okay. Whenever you gain life, you may pay X, and where X is less, draw that card. So that was not a very well put together sentence. I apologize for that reading. Blanchwood Armor. Oh, I love Blanchwood Armor. I like this too, but I like Blanchwood Armor more. Yeah, you might be wondering how I recognize these cards. I watch Commander games online, right? And I actually play some Commander on Moto too. And like so far, most of the invocation artifacts I've seen are just really good Commander artifacts, and that's why it's exciting from a brawl perspective, right? Ichor Wellspring could actually be really cool. Highest command. 2/2 construct +1/+1 in double strike. Search for basic planes. Gain 2 life in the sky. Not very good, right? Like the best things you can get out of it is a counter. Yeah, I think counter pump and token, right? I don't know. I don't know about the commands. I don't. Hey, door to nothingness. Yeah, I want me one of those. And a Sarith Great Worm. Whenever a land enters the battlefield, create a tap power stone chart. Yeah, like this set is basically historic brawl focused. I feel like it's not really, but it's got a lot of like it's got a lot of constructed for like non more casual constructed formats, right? Like Commander. I know you can do like competitive Commander, right? But it's got a lot of really cool stuff for those kind of formats. And I feel like I can never see myself casting this in Standard, but I will probably cast this in Historic Brawl. Like it's going in a landfall deck. Phylath maybe? I don't know what I would use the mana for in Phylath. Um, Exile target non-land permanent. Like this could be good too. Keening Stone. Another Keening Stone. I don't mind another Keening Stone. We're slowly building up our rare count. I guess we are slowly building up our rare count. Springleaf Drum is really good too. I don't know what it's legal in. Another liquid metal coating. Ooh, make sure it lost to Phyrexia. This is the Dragon Engine half of him, right? So we're gonna need the claimed by kicks half to actually make a deck around him. But like my first wild cards, honestly, I'll probably burn to make an Urza deck because Urza is really cool. Here's another Krukel. Daphne. Drafna? So Drafna is a really cool card too because he lets you double up your artifacts. Pristine Talisman. Probably not gonna be useful if I'm being honest. I know we got a lot of really cool artifacts for Brawl, but that is not what I'm very excited for. The Flask is okay. Hey, Thanos. Thanos is a card I want to build around. Like Bird or Beast Tribal could be really, really cool. We got more birds too, so. Stasis Coffin. Not really sure what we're gonna do with it in Historic Brawl because we don't have situations where a turn of grace is gonna actually save you, right? Like the whole Teferi's protection thing just does the job better, and like the turn, like if you get protection, it doesn't really save you. Yet I don't know. I'm not very high on it. I have very tempered expectations of how even bother using it. Ivory Tower. At the beginning of your upkeep, gain X life, where X is the number of your cards in hand minus 4. So this is like the opposite of the rack, isn't it? Because the rack is basically if you have four, if a player has four more than 4 cards in hand, they take damage equal to the difference. Another Siege Veteran. I guess Arena wants me to play Soldiers. I'm not sure about Soldiers in Standard. Hostile Negotiation. Exile the top 3 cards of your library face down. Then exile the top 3 cards of your library face down. Look at the cards in each pile, then turn one pile up. Your opponent chooses one of those piles and puts that pile in. You put that pile into your hand and the other into the graveyard. So it's basically like a mix on Athreos back when he was in Standard. Like with him, you looked at 3 cards, you put them into 2 piles, one face up and one face down. Essentially, what happens is the same, right? You have 2 piles of 3, so you get more cards. But you have to turn one of the piles of 3 face up, and then your opponent looks at the information you gave them, and they have to make a decision on whether or not they want to give you what you're showing them or what you're not showing them, which I think is really cool. Sigil of Valor. Equipped creature. Whenever equipped creature attacks alone, it gets +1/+1 for each other creature you control. Okay, I see you. I want to build that deck. The attack alone deck. Ooh, Precursor Golem. When Precursor Golem enters the battlefield, create 2 3/3 artifact golem tokens. Whenever a player casts an instant or sorcery that targets a single golem, that player copies that spell for each other. Wow, that's 5 mana 9 power. Copy any pump spells you put on golems. Yeah. Oh god, I didn't even look at the rare in the pack. Oh god, I'm not doing great. Thorn of the Amethyst. Non-creature spells cost one more to cast. We have Dahlia. She does the same thing. She's on a body, so she's a little bit weaker, but hey, I needed one of those. That means we are up to our Urza. Hey, Liberator. So Liberator is like, God, what is that mirror called? There's a Myr that does exactly what he does. It's flying, flash, and artifact spells have flash. Liberator actually works with color spells too. So like if we were allowed to play Ugin in Historic Brawl, we could flash in our Ugin, which would be pointless, I know, but it'd be kind of fun. Uh, the main thing this works with at the moment in Historic Brawl is Ulamog, right? You can flash in an Ulamog, which is a bit nuts. Although you're not going to get like a lot of the artifacts in the set can be so expensive because the power stones are making them cheaper. You're not going to get a discount via power stones on your Ulamog, right? So you're going to have to find a way to get to 10 mana yourself. Sword of the Meek. So this is part of a combo, right? Like there was a Sword of the Meek combo. I don't think it exists on Arena, but I might be wrong. Like, whenever it enters the battlefield, wait. So you would have to, whenever it enters the battlefield, return it. Whenever a 1/1 creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may return Sword of the Meek from your graveyard to the battlefield and attach it to it. So basically, all you need to make this work is an artifact that, whenever you sacrifice a creature, creates a 1/1, right? And then you can make infinite 1/1s. That's the combo. I don't know what the other card in that line is, but I'm sure it's very cool. Oh, Tukasa? Tukasa is really cool. The main reason she's really cool is because she is one of the cards that evergreens surveil as a like mechanic that can show up in other sets. I'm very excited about that. I should have been looking at my commons a little bit more because one of the commons from the set is really, really good. Dragon Rage Channeler. Like, I really want that. Another Well of Lost Dreams. I definitely needed that, Arita. Thank you. Thank you for your valiant sacrifice. Oh, Calamity's Wake. I am so excited for this card. This card is really, really cool. So the reason I'm excited for this card is the mono blue tempo decks in standard. Like they're one of the obstacles in the way of my dream of having like a horrific standard that is just some obscene control deck taking charge. Like if a mono blue control deck, if a mono blue tempo deck is allowed to stay alive, like my dream of Power Stones and Urzas and like Big Timmy control setups is not going to happen, right? But this shuts off the main creature in their deck because it exiles the graveyard and it's instant speed. So the dream is to win the tempo player at the end of their turn, cast enough of their spells. You Calamity's Wake and make them very sad. Fade from History. That is a card that I think I don't really have strong opinions about. I think it's gonna be okay in Historic Brawl. Like it's a destroy all artifacts and enchantments that doesn't have a really big downside. Like everybody gets one bear creature token, right? It's only one bear. So it's good. Like 4 mana for destroy all artifacts and enchantments is way too expensive. Like we've seen effects in Magic's history where you could do it for like 2 mana. Or we've seen effects where it's slightly more expensive, but there are additional options, right? Like Cleansing Nova. Like if I'm in a green and white deck and I have the option to choose between this or Cleansing Nova, I'm choosing Cleansing Nova every time because the option to do creatures or artifacts and enchantments is just way more valuable. Ooh. Third liquid metal coating. I'm gonna have to build a liquid metal coating deck. It's not gonna be fun, and I'm not gonna like myself afterwards. But Urza, Protector of Krug. So this is actually another really cool one too. He kind of has a similarity with Drafna in that he's making tokens of artifacts, except for with Urza, you don't have to time it where you make the token while you're casting the artifact. With Urza, you can just pay 6 and make the token, right? Which is pretty good. Liquid metal coating, always fun. Not if you played Modern, though. If you played Modern, it's not fun. Nobody likes it there. Brotherhood's End is actually another cool option for... I don't know if it's going to see Standard play, right? Because I haven't been playing much Standard. Like, I literally went to Goldfish this morning, picked the most popular meta Standard deck, which happened to be Grixis mid-range at the time. And if I had known that Grixis was the best deck in Standard, I would have played more Standard because I love Grixis. But yeah, I was not paying that much attention. Brother's End, like, it could see Standard play. Like, 3 damage to every creature is good. Like, that's an early Wrath, and early Wraths are good. I'm more excited about it in Historic Brawl, right? Because Historic Brawl has kind of gotten to the point where a lot of the mana rocks are 3 mana or less, right? Like, the only mana rock in the 3 mana slot that kind of dodges this bullet is like the Skyclave relic because it's indestructible, right? But other than that, you can wipe out an opponent's not back row, but like their artifact line, and that's pretty strong. Steel Seraph. At the beginning of your life team. Yeah, I know about you. I'm not very fond of you, but I know about you. You're okay. You're not bad in my book. I'm surprised we didn't get a single Cityscape leveler. That's another card I have to invest in, and I am not looking forward to that part of it. Gix. Gix is really cool. Like, we're gonna build a Gix deck. He's gonna be neat. 7 rares. So we actually have a couple to play around with. Unless... we haven't got his other half, right? His melding, like the Might and Meekstone. I might just focus on Brawl. Phyrexian Verboker. Phyrexian Verboker is really cool. I think it's banned in Historic Brawl, though, so it's just Historic where it's going to see play, right? Because, yeah, this is just, like, straight-up Commander hate. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, that player loses 5 life unless they discard a card. So black is a color in Standard I'm still worried about. I don't know if we've done enough to end black's dominance. Because black has been dominant. Unwinding Clock is insane. Yeah, I'll take me one of those. Surge Engine. Not the coolest card, but yeah, I'll take it. Anything that has a draw 3 attached to it, I'll take. Yes, I'm just gonna be buying packs for a bit because, like, the gold packs are tempting, and then I'll get to drafting towards the end of the year, maybe towards the end of December, to actually build up my collection. Ornithopter. I love me an Ornithopter. I think it already exists in Historic, but I love it nonetheless. Hey Gix, welcome to the party. You're not who I'm looking for, but I will take you. 3 mythic rares. Stonebrain. I don't think it's good. It's a good sideboard card, but I don't think it's good for anything that I'll be doing. Jollum Tome. I like it. This is my second Argoth. I haven't gotten a Titania, so not too excited about that. One with the Multiverse. This is my third copy of One with the Multiverse. Okay. You have your ways, One with the Multiverse. Second to last pack. Got a Foundry Inspector. And a Fortified Beach. A Soldier Land. And it's good. We'll take it. Soldiers are a tribe that we're probably going to go to at some point. Our last rare is another Thran Spider. And then we got a Invocation. I hope it's a good one. Goblin Charbelcher. Okay, wizards. Okay. So this is... Does this have a shot at becoming a legit historic deck? Maybe. Like, a lot of the lands that enable the Goblin Charbelcher deck in Modern are the MDFCs, which we have. So, like, there's a shot, right? I kind of hope there's a shot. Either way, this has been 30 minutes of opening packs. I have talked a lot. I'm just going to let it go here. A Brawl video will be going up very soon. Probably tomorrow? Yeah, probably tomorrow. We'll be taking a break from everything else while we actually work through some of these, some of the new rares from the set, or some of the new legends. And then we'll go back to Chandelar every other day, Minecraft at the end of the week, that kind of schedule. Either way, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, remember to leave a like, subscribe to the channel. I will see you next time around. Bye for now.